Hey guys, welcome to This Minute with Mama. Hope that you all are doing well. I'm back. I took a little bit of a break last week off completely. I just totally checked out of the news cycle and just now kind of checking back in, getting hit with all that's happened. We went down to Arizona and we watched my son play baseball. He's 13 now, and the game is definitely intensifying. I don't know if any of you guys have teenagers, boys that are baseball players, but it's another level now, and we're starting to realize it. And I guess next year, the field gets larger, and it gets even more intense. So, and conditioning becomes more important with running those bases because they're further apart. And I think the mound is further apart, and my son pitches. So. But it was really great. Great to see him play. Good to get into some warmer weather and just time spent with family. And it was really great. And now I'm checking back in. And I made a very controversial post on Twitter, I guess, or X. And I'm catching up on this whole signal chat thing that happened, basically, with military intelligence and JD Vance having like a back and forth about striking the Houthis, rebels in Yemen. And it was a successful mission. But the conversation happened on a signal chat, and a reporter who is very anti-Trump with The Atlantic was on the chat. And I know that MAGA is trying to excuse this right now, but I don't think that there's an excuse for this. I you guys might get upset with me with this, but I find this completely incompetent. And then there's part of me that's like, if this was Biden and this happened, I would be cutting a satire right now, parody, mocking this situation. I mean, can you imagine? There's a group of people all in a room, and they are planning an attack on their enemy. They're all like conspiring and like talking about how they're going to do it. And they look around the room and there's just this random person standing over here. And does anybody say, hey, who's the random guy in the, does anybody know who this is? Did that happen? I don't know. But if it didn't happen, and obviously it didn't happen because then later the stuff gets leaked of what was said, but nobody said, hey, who's that guy? Like, before we proceed with this conversation, because I'll tell you this, okay? Specific times are given, not the date, but specific times are given of the attack. The knowledge of F-18s and drones being used are given. And times of the attack, as I mentioned earlier. And then when the second attack will occur, and then the casualties that took place and the sites that were hit are also on the chat. Now, to me, I feel like this conversation should take place in a very high security way, like in a skiff, most likely, face to face. I do know this, like if I'm going to have a conversation with someone and I don't want anyone, like at all, to even have any clue, like I feel like it's just, I don't want anyone to know. I'm not going to bring my phone in because I know that my phone can, if it wanted to, someone could hack my phone and like get conversation that I have. Not that I'm having these secret intel meetings, but it's like, let's just leave the phones. And I know, like here in Colorado, you can record a conversation without that other person knowledge. That's insane to me. So, and I know that just as like a simple civilian. So the fact that these guys are having this conversation and they're not asking who this other person is, or they're not like verifying before they proceed with the chat who is on there, blows my mind. And I said it was incompetence and someone needs to be fired for it. And now I've got MAGA after me. They're upset that I said this, but that's what I think. And I think that true leadership takes responsibility. And when you mess up, you say, hey, my bad. Just like on the mound when my son is pitching and there's an easy, play to first and the shortstop flubs the ball and he can't get it in time and they get that base, they get on base on first, like the shortstop says, hey, my bad. Like, my bad. I should have had that, my bad. Now I'm hearing that Walt, I guess last night on Laura Ingraham, he said, hey, it's my bad. The buck stops with me. I'm taking responsibility. But this to me goes further than Walt. And I don't know much about Walt. Maybe Walt is a great guy. Walt is saying that his assistant or someone that, like his aide or something, like, let this guy on or something like that. That's a red flag to me. I don't believe that this was coincidence. I don't believe that, oh, it was just a simple accident and we happened to get like this huge anti-Trump hater into the chat. I think there's a mole. I think this was intentionally done. And I think that there needs to be a thorough investigation on how this happened. And I think there needs to be consequences. Like, if it's not Walt, if it was Walt's, and Walt's, I don't know, had something to do with it, and we find out that he was let this guy on intentionally. We don't know motive here, but once we figure this out, there needs to be consequences, and there should be someone fired, because I don't believe that something like this just happened. And I don't think just brushing it off like, oh, it's no biggie is something we should do. And people are like, oh, this happened 3 days ago. And I guess I'm talking about this now because I'm just now really starting to tune into the news. But when I started to read like these text messages that took place, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, if this was the other side, I would be shooting a parody right now. I really would. I'd be like, this is crazy. Like, this shouldn't have happened. And I guess this, my opinion here, is a huge controversial take, because I think I'm being ratioed right now, or close to it, for having this opinion. But this is where I stand on it. And I guess you could say it's a form of PTSD with me, because I've been a supporter of Trump since the very beginning. And I saw the first administration be infiltrated with moles and people that were not there with good intent. And so when something like this happens, I don't just chalk it up to an accident. I, in my head, think, no, this was intentionally done, and we need to find out who's responsible. And because I just don't blatantly trust people that are surrounding Trump, or just say, oh, they're all good people. They might not be. And so we really need to always be on the offense, going after what just happened instead of trying to defend it. And the approach now is a bunch of defense. And if you're in the Trump camp, the question shouldn't be like, oh, it's not a big deal, and no specific sites like were detailed, and no specific date was given, so it's not that big of a deal. The approach should be, wait a minute. How did a reporter get in this Signal chat? And we're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to fire whoever is responsible for this happening, because I don't, like I said, I don't know much about Walt. Maybe he's a great guy, but if it's his assistant, and then do a deep dive on his assistant or his aide, and let's find out how this really happened. That's my approach, and that's what I would like the talking point to be from the Trump camp, is we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out exactly how this happened, and this will never happen again. Do not use Signal to discuss possible attacks, at all. Just don't do it. That shouldn't be happening. So that's my take, and I guess it's upsetting people, but that's just what I think right now. So I'm back. I'm back, and I don't think that we should excuse incompetence. If it's incompetence, then there shouldn't be an excuse for that either, because people's lives are on the line, right? Had these people got alerted to that this attack was happening, or had they prepared, okay, it's going to happen, it's imminent, it's going to happen to us, they could have taken some kind of precautionary action, which could have put our people in danger. And that's concerning to me as well. So you might disagree. You might disagree with me on this take. That's okay. Apparently everyone else does. But let me know your thoughts. I hope you all are well. I'm thankful for you all. And I hope you enjoyed this Minute with Mama. We'll talk soon, guys.